found out that we're reading Rainbow and I didn't even realize it.
Well, you're reading Rainbow and reading Rainbow. Yes.
Oh, I'm reading the girls.
No, but it's really good. I enjoy the programming.
I never assume anybody who's on the show watches the show. I just think that you guys come on because you trust me. And you love me.
And we watch the show to support.
I appreciate that. Well, it's educational, but we also get a little naughty. Okay. Why did you make a face?
Okay, we're going to get naughty.
No, I said sometimes we can get a little bit naughty. I'm going to let this conversation go where it naturally wants to go.
Fantastic.
Right?
Great.
And wherever God leads us is where God leads us. You look great. I love that you and I match.
Don't we?
It was very matching. I promise you it was not on purpose. I just had a very long day of wearing black and I wanted to wear a color. And you just happened to wear the exact same color.
I hear that.
People think that we're related now. Somebody was like, is that your cousin?
If we were to really look back, I'm sure we are.
We probably are.
If we were to really look back, I feel like we might be related.
I agree, friend.
Yeah.
For those of you who are hearing that beautiful voice, wait a minute. Why do y'all always look betrayed? This is my friend, writer extraordinaire, the Leo of all Leos, amazing human being, that nigga, Mike Gauyo. Yay!
Thank you for having me, Blue.
I love how you did the Beyonce. The minute you realized that you were being introduced. Oh, thank you. Have you seen that episode of The View where Beyonce comes on? And I think it's Joy Behar. She's like, "You are Beyonce." She says, "Thank you."
As she should.
Like, can you imagine someone?
Thank you. I have graced you for my presence. Thank you.
I was like, she said, "You're Beyonce." She said, "Thank you. Thank you."
Is that the one with when Tina was on the show with her?
No, it was her by herself.
Okay.
And she was being so humble, but the thank you.
Listen.
Thank you for knowing who I am. I'm that bitch.
Oh my God.
Now, Mike, one of the things that I love about our friendship is that you're always so self-aware, not to be conflated with self-conscious, right? Because some people, I just say this all the time, somebody can look at something all day long and have no idea what they're looking at.
Okay.
You are not self-conscious, you're self-aware. And I love your self-awareness because I need to see self-aware Leo men. Leo men have a certain reputation.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. I mean, I'd like to hear more.
You know exactly what the reputation is, friend. You're proud.
Correct.
Like attention.
Correct.
Peacocks.
At times. Sure.
Generous.
Very.
Will burn everything down if you fuck with them.
Yup. While we're standing on the bridge. Yup.
Big egos that are hard to miss.
Okay.
Like to be adored.
Okay, now
I'm just telling you the stereotypes. So now that I've told you the stereotypes, do you agree with the Leo archetype?
I feel like I agree with every archetype of a sign.
Oh, interesting.
Generally.
Because they are all general, yes.
Yeah, and then there's a place to grow from there because there are certain toxicities with every sign or every person that you just grow from, right? You grow away from. So I appreciate you saying that I'm
mic closer. I'm going to make sure that we can hear you. No, you can push the mic up closer to you. Be fine now. You remind me of another guest.
Right. You know what?
We've already begun.
No, but I feel like every sign is an archetype of itself and like has generally been able to exhibit a lot of the traits of that particular sign, right? And then you kind of have to evolve and grow as a human being, just generally overall as a person, and evolve away from some of those toxicities or toxic traits of that sign.
If you had to self-identify, what are the toxic traits of a Leo? This is a safe space.
Ooh, conceited, someone who loves attention, someone who likes to be like the loudest person in the room, or someone who likes a lot of control in a relationship.
Controlling in relationships, that's the big one.
But yeah, those are.
There's one that you identified recently. We were having a phone call, and it made me so impressed by you. I was so impressed because you were like, "Blue, I'm a Leo. I'm doing my best out here. What I got, I love Mariah Carey. Shout out to your fellow fire sign sister.
Hello."
And you said, "I want to make sure I'm not being a hypocrite." There's, for me, as a woman who loves men, there's something so powerful about having a man call you and say, "Hey, friend, I want to make sure I'm not being a hypocrite." And I think there's so much power in self-identifying. Like, I want to make sure that what I'm asking is also what I'm giving. Were you always like that, or is that something that a lot of good, expensive therapy got you to?
No, I wasn't always like that, and that's a good point. Therapy did help, but I think different people who've come in and out of my life over time has shown me like a reflection of that, like where I've like put a mirror to me and been like, hey, you should take a look at yourself or take a look at certain things. And I listened. I tried to listen to those things.
What motivated you to listen? Because I think what I love about our friendship, and one of the reasons I wanted to have you on the show, aside from the fact that you're so esteemed and such a lovely human, I'm being serious, is that there's a certain level of pride and humility that coexists in you that I think is a really beautiful balance. That I think a part of me has started to think didn't exist anymore, right? Like when you see somebody who's doing well and who's proud of who they are and who knows who they are, especially in Black men, we don't often clap for them to also take stock of and take responsibility for harm that might be caused, whether it's intentional or unintentional. And of all the men I know, you're probably the one who's the most intentional about being clear about that and navigating that. So you said it was therapy and also friends who chin checked you lovingly. But what made you listen? What made you actually listen?
It was friends, but also like past relationships too. Like you said earlier that I'm one of the more self-aware Leos that you know.
Absolutely.
And I honestly love that compliment because I had to grow into that space. And it took time to do that, but it took me, going through like a lot of mistakes. And Leos are stubborn. Very stubborn. So it took some time to kind of like learn from certain mistakes to get to that really self-aware place. So yeah, it's been, different people in my life who have gotten me to where I am now as like this self-aware person.
You know what's so fascinating about these kind of conversations when we're talking about self-awareness is that like growth is not not everybody grows. I was gonna be nice. Growth is optional.
True.
Can we keep it a buck?
Yeah.
You and I are both Haitian.
We are.
To the fellow Zoes out there. And I remember talking to you and Jean, also a Leo Haitian man. If you had told me.
My twin.
Your twin, where have you been? Same birthday, everything.
Yeah.
If you had told me at 25 that in my early 40s, I would have Leo men in my life who were Haitian men, who I actually trusted to be emotionally safe and sound, I would have cackled in sac passe, okay?
Oh my God.
Because Caribbean men, Latin American men have the marker cornered only second to maybe African men from what their women have told me.
Well.
And then, in their normalized toxicity.
Right.
And so I don't have any healthy Haitian men in my family. And I was thinking about it on the ride over here. Like, I think even having healthy Haitian male friends has been super healing for me. Like, hey, let me throw a bone to my people. Like, we're not all just lost in the sauce. How does it feel growing up as a Caribbean person in America? Because part of the things that's always interesting is we're so Americanized, and we're proud of being Zoes, right? But we're very Americanized. We didn't get a lot of emotional intelligence, good therapy, good communication skills, all these things that we are known for now, especially as writers.
Right.
That shit wasn't in our house.
It wasn't, and I think that's like a nuance that is like unique to us and a lot of other, immigrants out there. But like when I grew up, like I didn't grow up with a lot of great examples for, someone who was emotionally intact or emotionally sound or stable.
Mentally stable.
Mentally stable.
Mental instability is normalized as hell in our community.
Right. And we're kind of like taught to just suck it up and deal with it, and have seen our parents do the same thing. So it's one of those things where you kind of, through time learn, if you're lucky enough to like learn on your own. But I was so grateful to take your emotional intelligence course. Listen.
Oh wow, it's about to be a random plug. Okay.
Blue teaches this emotional intelligence course. It's like a 8-week
On Thy Shift, yeah.
On Thy Shift, 8-week course, and it's fantastic. It taught me so much about myself, about how I interact with other people, how to receive other people based on where they are emotionally, And that helped me a lot. It helped me become more emotionally present with others. I had a listen, your class came in handy the other day because I had a situation in an Uber.
Oh, wow. Because I'll test you.
Okay, quick story time. So, you know how Uber or Lyft gives you like 5 minutes to get to the car? Mm-hmm. Like it gives you a 5-minute grace period. And I was using my 5-minute grace period.
You're like, I'm going to use it.
I'm going to use it. So I got to the car maybe, I want to say 40 seconds before the grace period was up. And I get in, and the first thing the Uber driver says to me is, where are you going? I'm like, first of all, I'm like, the app should tell you, but I'm going like 4 minutes away. And he was like, oh, so you had me wait 5 minutes for a 4-minute drive?
Oop. Ooh, that's real sassy. Wow. I'm using it as a gender neutral term, but that's real sassy. Wow. Okay.
And I was like, wait, what? I was like, hold on, excuse me? And he was like, you had me wait 5 minutes for a 4-minute drive. And I was like, well, the app, the service that you work for, gives you a 5-minute grace period to get to the car. And he was like, well, you could have been more courteous and just got here as soon as I arrived. And I'm like, no. I was like, this is not what we're doing. I think that if you have an issue, you need to speak to the service and not to the passenger. And the next thing he said to me, well, don't get aggressive. And I was like,
oh, wow.
And I'm like,
I said, do you want to fight?
Right. And I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm not getting aggressive with you. I'm speaking calmly to you, and also credited that to you, because I would have been like, nigga, what?
Right. Self-advocacy.
Right.
We tell people all the time in the class, if
doing?
someone is trying to gaslight you, the first thing you do is saying, I'm being reasonable.
Right.
Do you have an issue with me being reasonable?
The point that I'm getting to is in that moment when I normally would have probably gotten aggressive or would have gone off.
Made him right?
We figured it out. And I also needed to get to my destination.
Exactly.
So I was like, how do I smooth this over, but also identify why this person is upset?
Yeah.
And the thing is, he wasn't upset with me. He was upset at the fact that Uber, will give him $2 for a $12 ride. Mm-hmm. The fact that he has to, even wait the 5-minute grace period when in the past that wasn't even a feature, and they have really no say about it. Like, he's angry with the service, mm-hmm. but he's taking it out on me. And not that him taking it on me is okay, but me just merely understanding that is what he's experiencing.
It's displaced anger.
And it's displaced anger. It has nothing to do with me. Allowed me to be like, okay, well, the problem ain't with me. So we were able to have like a very kind of just thoughtful and healthy conversation. So much so that by the end of the ride, he was like, I'm sorry, I apologize. Like, it was, I'm just having a rough day. Like, thank you for listening to me. And I was like, you know what? No problem.
Friend.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm so proud of you. Own thy shift, my nigga.
Own thy shift. Take the class, y'all.
Take the class. Mike, I'm trying not to get emotional, but like, it makes me so happy because my thing is emotional intelligence is contagious. I want people to just learn how to see the human being in each other.
Oh, absolutely.
And not constantly be taking those moments as an excuse to mollywop a bitch.
Yeah. Your class, I woke up. Like, it was another level of awareness.
Well, you're always free to come back and join us again.
Oh, I'll be back. I'll be back.
I had one lady who joined to figure out how to fix her marriage, and then she came back to figure out how to get divorced in a smart way. I was like, ooh, well, that escalated quickly.
Well, I see, because I've grown, but I'm not fixed. Okay, I've grown.
What's the term? Healed and healing.
Okay, and healing.
Healed and healing, present tense.
Yep.
And you know what's so fascinating is when you are becoming more emotionally intelligent, it also impacts your love life. It does. No, it does. It does. It's not a trap, friend. No. I love that the Cheshire smile. No, it's true because people always ask me, Blue, how the hell do you date? With all the work that you do and all the stuff that you know, how the hell do you date? And I was like, when I'm dating, I'm also recognizing that I'm learning more about the human condition. And I know what to take personal and what's about me and what's not about me, even as it's hurting. It doesn't mean I don't hurt. I'm a human being, right? But it helps me be more objective.
Right.
Even when I'm hurting.
Yeah.
Like I had a situation where I was talking to someone and I was like, you feel so small right now. You're doing everything to make me feel as small as you do. And that has nothing to do with me. You still got me fucked up. And I'm going to explain to you in these next three bullet points why you got me fucked up.
Right.
But I'm going to keep you safe the entire time. One of the things I was talking to Bridget about on our pod was I know how to chin check people. And even if they're uncomfortable, they're never unsafe.
I love that.
And that's my favorite thing about being emotionally intelligent. People think emotional intelligence means you're never wrong. You know how to fight people. People come to class like, I don't know how to argue like you. I was like, but arguing is never my intention. Is how do I self-advocate? How do I keep me safe? And keep you safe, even when you got me fucked up.
Yeah, how do you diffuse, really?
Literally, like, how do I diffuse?
Yeah.
And how do I disengage because it's unsafe, not because I'm uncomfortable and I don't know how to deal with it?
There it is.
Because you can't be fragile and be emotionally intelligent.
No, you can't at all. You really have to be strong-minded, and you can't be weak. You can't be weak. It's not going to work.
There's one word I've been using a lot that I sometimes struggle to think if it's an unsafe word. It's not unsafe. It's the truth sometimes. I'm realizing that I have a problem with cowardice at my big age. Like, I cannot befriend people or date people or invest with people who approach life from a space of cowardice. Not because I'm judging it, but because my existence is going to constantly trigger them in a way that's frustrating for both of us. I can deal with flawed. I can deal with people who are fucking up and figuring it out and saying, Blue, I regressed. It happens to the best of us. We all regress, right? Growth is not linear. It's a cha-cha dance. It's 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, a couple steps to the side. You know what I mean? 1 time, 2 time, right? Like, growth is not linear. I can deal with that. But if you're a coward, I have recognized that I'm too brave to hold space with a coward for too long because it's inevitable that they're going to resent me. The thing that I represent is the very thing that they refuse to ingest. And so cowardice is really, even cowardly lions, I know a couple of cowardly Leos, but I realized that cowardice is really dangerous because it's brave to grow. Growing takes a certain level of courage that I think a lot of people take for granted.
Yeah, it's cowardice and insecurity.
Yeah, that's a bad combination.
Yeah, insecurity keeps you from being the best version of yourself, but it also keeps you from being able to have the type of love that you want.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And so many people search for, have like a list of goals that they want to achieve for themselves and within a relationship with someone else, right? That they every time can't achieve because of their own insecurity and their cowardice. Like, cowardice speaks to the fear of not wanting to change at times, and insecurity is just living in the comfort of knowing that, like, where I currently am is okay, and outside of this space, I would not be able to deal. So
yeah, that's true. And the thing is, insecure people, we all have insecure moments, but an insecure person who's really showing up for themselves and trying their best, I can rock with. I'll die in that hill with you all day long if you're insecure, but you're putting in effort.
Yeah.
Cowards are emotionally lazy. They don't want to risk getting it wrong, so they don't try at all.
Okay.
I can't respect somebody who's not even going to try at all.
Yeah.
Like, you tired from thinking, you overthought yourself into a headache, but you didn't actually do shit. Like, you put in no effort, but it's everybody else's fault. That must be nice.
Right.
It must be nice to sit on the couch and not do nothing and it's everybody else's fault.
I can't imagine.
I can, because I think there was probably a time in my life where I was holding space with nothing but cowards. Because a lot of times when you're a courageous person, your ego tells you that maybe if I lead by example, I can change y'all. And I was like, but you can't change nobody but yourself.
Right.
Even with the work that we do with the workshop, it's all about setting an example, but giving people free agency to do what they want to do and see how it shows up for them. One of the reasons why I know you're not a coward, sir, is because for those of you who might not know exactly who the fuck Mike is, there's a little show on Netflix called Ginny and Georgia that he was on for some time. There's also another little show that was on HBO. Formerly, well, it was HBO Max for a while, and then it was Max, and then it was something else. Child, they're going to call it X by the end of the week. Who knows what they're going to call it? But there's a little show that Mike was on. Mike, do you want to tell the black community the name of the show that you spent all them years being a part of?
Well, I was a writer on the final season of Insecure, and I
was also in the finale, weren't you?
I was in the penultimate episode.
Yes, the penultimate one.
Episode 9.
When I saw you, I squealed. I was like, ah! was like, wait a minute, he's a writer. Why is he on the? Yeah,
man. The thing that I love about Insecure is that, first of all, it's a great community of writers, of people.
It's a milestone in Black history. You're part of pop culture forever, friend.
Yeah, and I had a blast working on the show. Is that every writer gets like a cameo in front of the camera, like
that was on purpose.
Yeah, so it's on purpose. So I love that aspect of it, so much so that I want to be able to do that on shows that I create. Which is something that we were able to do on Send Help, was like have every writer do a little cameo on the show.
I love that.
So I love that they did that.
Insecure was one of those shows where I can honestly say, because y'all know I'm a bad liar, I have not met a single person attached to that show personally who I haven't been very dazzled by how pure their heart is. There's a goodness. I don't know what was in the water when Issa was calling y'all up. But there's a goodness in y'all, like you, Amy, Serita, Jean, Richie. Damn, I sound like fucking, like I know a lot of you. I ran into Yvonne Ocean one time.
I love all those people.
Yvonne was like, I ran into her in London, and I was like, oh, we have some mutual friends. She's like, really, who? I was like, oh, bitch, you got a minute?
Oh, that's when we were last year.
Yes, when we were in London last year, I ran into her backstage at the Mo Gilligan show.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we have some mutual friends. She's like, oh, like who? And I said, oh, Serita, Jean, Mike. And I started going down the list. She's like, you mean
so
all everybody in Insecure but me? I said, I'm sorry, friend. We've met now.
That's funny.
But you're all sincerely good people.
I love hearing that, you know? I think that it's good because it all kind of like trickles from the top.
That's
true. Issa and Prentice are both just fantastic, beautiful human beings.
Good humans.
Yeah, good people. So I'm sure, like, you know, that attracts the same. So it's
true.
Great. Yeah, it's great to be able to work with people who are just amazing.
But that show did so well that if somebody wanted to be big-headed, y'all would have had a reason, though. Like, can we keep it a buck, friend? We're humanizing it, right?
Who are you talking about? Who's big-headed?
You know what I'm saying? Oh, don't do that. Don't be messy.
Well, I'm just saying, who are you talking about?
If somebody wanted to pop their shit, they could.
Yeah, they could. Yeah.
They could. If y'all really wanted to be like, I'm that girl, y'all could say it and have receipts.
But the thing is, I feel like many of us have done that professionally because we've gone on to create dope shows, like dope content, you know? I mean... Phil Jackson went on to do Grand Crew.
Bridget just told me last night she wished Grand Crew came back.
Yes, bring back Grand Crew.
Please
it's an amazing
bring that
show.
Back. Yeah.
Sarita went on to showrun Rap Shit.
Like she's coming on Humanized. At some
she
point,
is.
So she's coming back.
My God. I love Sarita so much. But the thing is, like, Issa and Prentice was able to give many of us an opportunity to succeed and just kind of like go off and do our own thing. And being able to have people like that in your corner that champion you in that way is amazing.
In real life, not just
in real life. So nothing but love for them.
You've actually kind of taken the torch because you left when Insecure wrapped up, and then you pivoted to doing Send Help and having your own series with Jean. And you also did other things, obviously. But one of the things when I first got cool with you, I was like, Black Boy Rights. And I started seeing that you and Amy Anobi, also part of Insecure. I saw her cameo when she was doing Blow the Whistle in that episode. I was like, is that Amy doing too short? What is happening?
Amy and that flute.
Amy was doing, if you watch Insecure, because it's now on Netflix, right? If you watch Insecure on Netflix, there's an episode where they're walking through like the quad or something, and there's somebody playing Blow the Whistle on a flute. That is our friend Amy Anobi, who's also been on this series.
Yeah, I love
Amy.
And
I love seeing it, but you and Amy have gone on to create fellowships and spaces for other writers. Just in the same way that Ida created space for you, you're also creating space for other writers. What made you want to do that? Because let's be honest, friend, a lot of people are like, look, I'm still trying to get to the table myself.
I hear you, and I'm still trying to get to the bag every day.
He's like,
get into the bag,
yes.
Right?
Ching ching.
Right, but I believe in, like, you know, helping people while you climb. You know, it's a really just kind of important thing to me. I often think about, okay, like I've gotten through the door, you know, I'm making money, thankfully. Hello, thank you, checks.
We're both on auto pay.
Hello, auto pay.
Can we do a toast? Can we do a quick toast
Please.
to being two Haitian kids from Boston who are now on auto pay?
Come on now.
Salud.
Making it salud.
Look at that. Well, that tequila is tequiling. Ooh. That's
We
what you've
love
been sipping
that.
on this entire time?
It's good, right?
Ooh, I'm warm on the inside, friend. No wonder you're so chill.
No, for real. No, but I mean, my mission has been to be able to help other people coming up in the industry, especially Black people. You know, I feel like especially us. If it weren't for people helping me coming up, like I would not be where I am today. So aside from being able to get through the door and make a career for myself, I'm like, okay, well, just mission wise, what do I want to do in this industry? What stamp do I want to leave behind? And that's to be able to create space for other people. So that birthed the Black Boy Rights and Black Girl Rights Mentorship Initiative. And
what's the Instagram for that, in case they want to look it up, friend?
Black Boy Rights Media on Instagram, and blackboyrights.com if you want to go to the site itself. But yeah, like, I mean, we're 3 years into the program. And I'm incredibly proud of I'm incredibly proud of our mentees and our alumni mentees. One of our alumni mentees actually created the BBL Drizzy sample.
Are you serious?
Yes, and he's
whoa, really?
And he's currently blowing up.
Are you serious now?
Shout out to Willonius Hatcher, like he is blowing up
BBL
right now.
Drizzy.
Yeah.
You know what I love about running into your mentees when I'm out with you? Because me and Mike be outside. Mind your business. If you see me and Mike outside, popping it, locking it, twerking it, we're not talking about emotional intelligence at the day parties.
No cameras up, please.
No cameras. Mind your business, all right? But when we be outside talking our shit and VIP, having us a good old time, when you're... Everybody who, I consider them your family, right? I call them your extended family.
Yeah, they are.
When they walk up to you, their eyes light up. I was like, what the hell is he doing over there with them people? They seem... I'm like, they love you. No, I didn't mean like that.
Not a harem.
I mean, no, they look at you like with stars in their eyes. And the fact that you can help someone, and on the other side of that, they still love you, that just speaks to your heart, and that you're helping them in their career, but you're doing it in a way that feels good to them. Because what do they always say? People don't remember what you said or what you did. They remember how you made them feel.
Wow, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, because at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, like what imprint do I want to make in this business, right? What do I want to say? What do I want to do? What legacy do I want to leave behind? And it's really about, you know, being able to ensure that other people can take up space in the same way that I've been able to take up space.
Talk your
and
shit,
if I can
King.
help them, if I can provide them with any sort of access or amplify them in any way, like that's what I'm going to do. And that's essentially what the program is about. Like, they're extremely talented writers, you know, and they just haven't been given a platform to be able to express themselves in that way because of how the business is set up. It's not necessarily set up for us to succeed.
Oh, those gatekeepers don't like us like that.
Oh, right, exactly. So I'm grateful to be able to have a program like mine, and for Amy to be able to have a program like hers, for Lena to be able to have a program like hers, for Issa to have, she also has a program, and she just launched another program with Tubi.
With Tubi, I saw that.
Prentice also has a mentorship program with, I think, USC. Like, there are many programs out there that I'm incredibly happy to see and proud that is happening. And I'm incredibly proud of my program and my mentees. They're doing great. They're going to take over the industry.
You have me at BBL Drizzy. I'm still stuck on that.
They're going to take over.
I'm still stuck on that. You know what I love about this conversation is, and you and I have talked about this offline, is the industry in LA in particular gets a bad rap, right? Mm-hmm. People who think LA is full of everybody is fake. I once had a hating ass bitch who's now watching all my stories say to me, "Oh, you should move to LA because they fake out there. You fit right in."
Okay.
I said, "Bitch, was there a comma or a period or an ellipse missing somewhere in the sentence?"
Right.
A lot of people think of LA as just a bunch of fake industry folks. And yet, maybe I'm just a lucky ass bitch because I keep running into people like you and Amy and Serita who are so generous and who are so abundant and who are the counter of everything that people say LA is. I found such a rich community of Black creatives who really have each other's backs and who are building together rather than going up against each other.
Well, that's great. I mean, when you move with like a genuine spirit, you're going to receive that back. Do you know what I mean?
I receive that. Okay, maybe
you know,
that's it, yeah.
And I'll also say, like, the most genuine people I've ever met in LA have been like LA natives.
The natives,
like
the natives
are
is it.
The most genuine people.
The natives
I have
are
ever
it.
met
The transplants
in my life.
are touch and go.
The transplants are touch and go because honestly, a lot of the time they're trying to be someone that they're not, or they're trying to recreate themselves.
They came here to escape
in a new
the
space,
reality, yeah.
right? And it's not going to work for them. But a lot of times you can weed those people out based on the fact that, like, okay, if you are moving as a genuine spirit, genuine human being, you're going to receive that back.
As opposed to being an opportunistic clout chaser who can't even hide it because you're so damn thirsty.
Hello.
This is a perfect segue, friend, because I just want to tell you that y'all think that I'm a know-it-all sometimes, and I'm just the bitch who walk around with all the answers. That's not the case. My real friends, like Mike, know that we all have blind spots, self-included. And recently, Mike had to have a come to Jesus moment with me.
Well, church.
I'm about to drag myself. I'm about to humanize myself, friend.
Come on,
Mike pulled me aside and said, "Now, friend," and he gave me a stern but loving and safe talking to about not wanting to, making sure that I wasn't embracing everybody without recognizing that opportunists might see me as something more than just someone they want to have community with.
Yeah. And we have this in common, too, though.
Yeah, we both, I feel like it's a ping pong ball that we just keep throwing it back.
Right.
Like, hey, friend, I think that might be a cloud chaser. Run. Hey, friend, I think that might be a cloud chaser.
Right.
And in my mind, and this is what I said to you, I said, Mike, it's so weird that you're speaking to me that I have to be mindful that some people might try to be my friend to be clout chasers because I'm not a celebrity. I'm not a star. I'm a writer. I'm a working class creative. And I think I still have cognitive dissonance that as a working class creative who's not some A-list actor, why would I have to worry about a clout chaser?
I hear you. I think
it's still weird to me because I'm still following my dream.
I get that. And what we talked about was the fact that, like, you could see yourself as one thing and someone else is going to see you a completely different way. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you are so stuck in a place of just, you know, working and trying to get somewhere, you don't realize that you've gotten pretty far or gotten to a place where someone else thinks like, oh, okay, you're it. Meanwhile, you're still in the work. You're still doing the work, right? Mm-hmm. So I liken it to, you know, working out. Like you get to a certain place where you've like lost 20 pounds and you don't realize that you've lost it because you've just been doing the work. Mm-hmm. And someone you haven't seen in a while is like, oh, damn, you look good. It's like, oh, really? I do?
I do? Me?
Right, me? So like sometimes you don't realize it in the moment because you've been just focused on getting certain things done that you don't, your entire environment has changed around you and you don't even see it, you know, and changed around you for the better and you don't even see it, but other people do. And then other people want to try to take advantage of that. And that's where you kind of, you know, at times will have like a blind spot because you're just, you know, you're just you. You're just trying to, you know, be yourself.
And I told you, I think that in that convo, I said, Mike, the reason why my brain, conceptually I understand it, but my brain is still chewing on the gristle of, if I have it and I've created something and manifested something abundant for myself, even in the midst of working towards it, and I'm bringing you along, why are you still mad? Because I always thought in my mind, people get mad when they get left behind. So if I take you with me, you can't be mad. And I've learned recently, and this is advice my mother gave me, you know Haitians have trust issues. Shout out to my souls out there. Haitian mothers, if you want to hear something about trust issues, your Haitian mama don't trust none of your friends, okay? Like they are very cautious around friendships and funny business because they had to be for survival where they're from.
Yeah.
And so my mother said to me a long time ago, she was like, your problem is, honey, is that shoo-shoo, as she calls me. Shoo-shoo. Your problem is people aren't mad because they want some. They're mad that you have it to give. You're thinking, well, I'm giving you something and you get to come along, so why are you mad? Some people are so prideful, they're mad that you're the one who's giving and they're the one who has to receive.
Yeah.
And that blows my mind because when someone gives to me, I'm like, thank you.
Same.
I
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Can I have some more, please?
I will say at times my own pride will get in the way and I'll be like, well, I can go get this for myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, but maybe that's like my, toxic Leo
the line's
trait.
coming back out.
Yeah. But like I like to do things for myself. I don't like to necessarily ask for handouts, but I've been trying to be conscious of not seeing it so much as like a handout more than like a helping hand, you know? So, but then, there are people that just want to be able to do certain things for themselves or are resentful of the fact that you could do something for yourself that they're unable to do for themselves. And then they have to count on you to hand it to them.
Got it.
Especially a man.
Oh, we're going there. Especially a man. We about to talk about men for a second. Perfect segue, friend. I love how you.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm trying to help.
Really, we helping each. We see each other. Right? No, like I think masculine fragility when you're an abundant person who dates masculine identified humans is tricky because Men are told that they need to be providers. Men are told that they have to have everything figured out. Men are told that they can't say ouch, X, Y, and Z. When you're a master manifestor, which I think we both are, right? When you're someone who has figured out a way out of no way for yourself and others,
right?
It's so stunning when you realize that resentment can be present in the hearts of those you've helped. Because it is resentment, right? Because what we're saying is they resent that you figured out how to get it for you and them, and they didn't themselves.
Right.
Which to me sounds ungrateful. I'm not even gonna hold you. It sounds hella fucking ungrateful.
Right.
So my question to you is, when you are as a successful, attractive black man who puts in his time in the gym, look at your face. Are you not? Am I talking to somebody else behind you?
I mean, proceed.
Okay, proceed. Continue. As a successful, attractive black man who is succeeding in an industry that most people only dream of even entering, right? Like, you're not just like, oh, thank you for having me. You're like, no, I'm in the room and I'm actually taking those calls in those rooms, right? When you are trying to choose someone who is safe enough to date because you recognize they see you and not what you represent, how do you discern when someone likes you for you versus when somebody might be a clout chaser?
That is a great question. I'm still learning that, I'm still learning how to be mindful of certain things while still, being a romantic,
Are you romantic?
I am.
You like flowers and whatnot?
I am.
You like cute romantical shit?
I like all that shit.
Really?
I do. And I'm someone who, say for instance, I've had like a bad breakup with someone. I don't necessarily let my last relationship affect the relationships that I have in the future. Every time is the first time.
With better discernment.
Correct. So I like to take the lessons into my next relationship, but also, say for instance, if someone cheated, right? And I don't necessarily have my guards up going into the next relationship. I go in trusting the person, and then I count on them to just, I count on them to let me know if I should continue to trust them. Do you know what I mean? So in instances like that, well, let's go back to what your question was. So wait, what was your question again?
My question is, how do you know when somebody's a clout chaser?
Okay.
Versus like they just like you and think they're cute and you look good in them pants.
Okay. I mean, sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you don't know someone's a clout chaser until you're really in the relationship and you're noticing certain things. And I try not to be blinded so much by like love, because like you were saying before, if I'm going somewhere, if I'm like doing something, I want you to be involved. I want you to be able to come and enjoy it with me. I don't think anything of it. But when it starts to become a situation where you're just kind of like becoming enamored with the space that we're in, that's when I'm like, oh, there might be a problem here.
Yeah.
And that's at the beginning of a relationship, right? And the other times where it could kind of like rear its head in a very bad way is, for instance, if that person feels like the relationship isn't working, but they want to stay because of the social clout and currency that they've gained from having been in the relationship.
Oh,
like
yeah.
That's when I'm like,
I had a friend name drop me at an HBO event. I wanted to flip a fucking table.
It's crazy.
So we don't talk no more, but you at HBO event saying I'm Blue's friend. If you don't suck a... I was so angry.
No,
Ooh,
but
I was so mad, friend.
Yeah,
I
feel you. It's things like that I'm having to recognize now, and I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't think it'd be a big thing for me to introduce you to my friend group or introduce you to certain people, and then you learn quickly that like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that so soon in a relationship, or I should be more mindful of who I'm introducing to you. But we had a conversation too, though, about like just dating up. Not dating up, but like...
we're going there.
Not dating up, but we had a conversation about like dating someone that's on the same level as you.
Your wavelength?
That's on the same wavelength as you.
Yeah.
And higher. And I think there's definitely something to that, because it keeps you and it helps you avoid certain things, certain blind spots that you probably wouldn't have noticed before.
We talked about name dropping too.
Yeah,
because Mike told me that to someone who does not work in the industry, because of the work that I do, that I might unintentionally come off like a name dropper because of. But here's my thing: if you ask me how my day went,
I'm gonna tell you.
And 5 of the people who I saw today are known. Don't ask me then.
Right.
I'm not gonna say I ate Cheetos and went home. Like Mike, you know the day I had today.
Correct.
That would be a massive name drop.
Yeah.
But now I'm thinking, damn, if I date somebody and they ask me what I did last weekend, I can't tell them about Thursday, Friday, or tomorrow.
Yeah, they might think that
my entire weekend is a name drop.
Yeah, they might think that you're bragging. But I mean, here's the thing. I feel as though sometimes when you're telling someone about your day or you're bringing up certain things or certain people, they might just feel insecure about...
Pause.
Come on.
They might feel insecure.
That word again. Feel insecure about their station or might feel threatened about the type of like circle or the type of people you find yourself around. But that's something that you can't help. So I don't think you should necessarily... dim your light or not talk about
I'm gonna go mute, friend. I'm not saying shit.
Or not talk about your day.
I don't know nobody. I ain't
just
been nowhere.
because they feel as though you might be name dropping when all you're really doing is expressing excitement for whatever you experienced and or telling them about your day. Like something as simple as
Y'all give me a new fear now. Now I'm scared to tell anybody how my day went because I don't want to be called a name dropper.
I don't think you should feel that way. It's a matter of like understanding your friends, understanding your people. You are my people.
Oh, my friend, I love you, friend.
And not feeling threatened or insecure about whatever it is that they're telling you or whatever it is that they are experiencing.
I'm going to do a quick reference.
It's a low frequency.
It's a very low frequency. I also I know the word name dropper has such a negative connotation.
Right.
And after we had that conversation about somebody who's insecure, who doesn't feel good about where they are in life, and who's sharing space with you, even if you invite them along, if they feel like you're a name dropper just by you telling them how their day went, there's information in that. It tells you where they can meet you at, right? And so for me, I'm just like, moving forward, I'm going to have to be a lot more discerning about the things that I take for granted. Because when I talk about someone with a big name, I'm humanizing them. So I'm thinking, you can't possibly think it's a name drop because I'm talking about them like a regular human being.
Right.
But all you heard was their name. And now your booty cheeks are clenched. You're like, oh, shit. I didn't know this is who she's sharing space with. You know what I mean? So I'm going to do a quick thing called the NDA Rapid Fire. So we're not going to name no names, but we are going to answer questions. Mike.
I knew this was coming.
No, there's nothing coming, friend.
Okay.
Have you ever been hit on by a celebrity?
Yes.
Have you ever had sexual relations with a celebrity? No names.
Who? Yes.
Oh, wow. Wait, wow. Oh, we're going to talk at dinner. We going to talk at dinner. We going to talk at dinner.
Okay.
Oh, friend. Okay. Would you ever have a relationship with a celebrity?
I would.
You would?
Yeah. I would because here's my thing. And here's something that I really appreciate, and you know who I'm going to talk about. And I'm not going to say a name.
Okay.
But I love when I am with someone who understands my schedule, who understands how my schedule works. You know, like I could be working a 12-hour, 14-hour, 15-hour day. I could be writing in the middle of the night. Like, you know what I mean? I don't necessarily have like strict hours that I work, and I enjoy being with someone else who understands that, but also being with someone else who is a creative that I can bounce ideas off of.
Amen. I love that shit.
But who's a creative in like different ways or in a different space that isn't directly associated with what I do, but at the same time, you know, they have a level of understanding that certain people don't. So when it comes to like say a celebrity or whoever you may consider a celebrity, they already understand what those hours are and what that time is. So I appreciate that.
Okay. You made that very eloquent and smart. What do you think is the biggest misconception about fame? Biggest misconception?
I don't know if I can answer that only because I can't speak from first account what that is.
I think for me the biggest misconception about fame is that celebrities don't have feelings. Or that they shouldn't be allowed to have feelings.
I agree with that.
It's a lot of goddamn feelings.
Yeah, and they're human.
As fuck.
They're human.
Would you ever want to be famous? Because I had a friend who is famous tell me yesterday that she thinks fame is unnatural and she hates everything about it.
I don't want to be famous. I want to have influence. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't need the fame, but if I can have the influence, which is really the real power, then I can do a lot more for a lot more people and still keep a level of like anonymity. I feel like when it comes to fame, you're put on like a pedestal, or you're put on a pedestal to be seen, but at the same time to have rocks thrown at you.
Yes.
So
you're in plain sight.
Right. So I would much rather hold a lot of influence and be able to help a lot of people than be famous.
I think a perfect example of that is Britney Spears. Or Wendy Williams. Can we talk about the Wendy Williams? Wendy Williams had all this fame and fortune, but had very little control over her own autonomy.
Right.
And she was, in my mind, and this is my opinion, when Wendy went off air, by the way, I wish she was around for this Diddy thing. I wish.
I know.
She earned it. She was on the front lines of the Diddy thing. Like, she was robbed of being able to cover the story that she waited 30 years.
She was there from the beginning.
She was the first whistleblower on Diddy, okay? She was the Paul Revere of this shit. When Wendy Williams went off air, she was still rich and she was still famous. Mm-hmm. And when you watch that sad documentary they did of her, you could tell that she was still a slave to the desire to be famous. It didn't matter how bad she looked at the documentary. She was excited to be in front of the camera again.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to be at the place where I'm down bad and I'm still itching to be looked at by the public.
Yeah, I'm not one of those Leos that likes to be looked at. I don't know if you could tell, but like this is a lot for me.
It is.
Like, yeah.
You seem so comfortable. Like you my co-host or something.
Like a mic in my face. Like it's a lot.
Really?
Yeah. But I love you.
I appreciate it. Like, bitch, if I didn't love you, I would not be here.
No, but I'm not someone that is attracted to like the limelight.
You want to be seen in the room, but not on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to be in control in the room.
That part, writers have a lot. In my mind, I never wanted to be in front of the camera, which is why potting is so bizarre to me. I was a writer who got booked to be on a talk show. That's why I moved to LA. I was like, really? I got to be in front of the fucking camera? And then when the talk show...
You are fantastic in front of the camera.
Thank you, friend.
You are so good.
I want to say so many things. I'm just going to say I receive it. Look at therapy. I receive it. I wanted to just be a writer who was able to make sure that I had impact with my words.
Yeah.
And when I was thrust in front of the camera on the talk show, I was stunned that it felt so natural to me. And then something happened with production. We're not going to get into that for legal reasons. And the talk show, we did 6 weeks of a talk show that's never seen the time of day.
That is crazy to me.
It was a View. It was like the black millennial version of the View, and I was the Whoopi. But doing those 6 weeks made me realize, shit, I don't want to run from this. And you know who told me not to run from it? Lauren London.
Oh, wow.
I had just moved to LA, and I went to see my friend who was interviewing Lauren London, and she made a beeline towards me. I was wearing a bright blue jacket. She was like, I seen you smiling at me this entire interview. What's your name? And I said, my name is Blue. And I looked at my jacket. I was like, I know. My name being Blue, and I'm wearing a blue jacket.
Damn.
I know it's corny as fuck. I try my best not to wear blue because of my name. She was like, no, your beautiful blue jacket is why I came towards you.
I love that.
And she was like, sometimes the thing you run away from is the thing you should be running towards.
Hello.
I said, did God send Lauren London to come say a word?
Message.
Because I was having a panic attack, like, why did I move to LA to do this talk show? This is crazy. And Lauren London delivered that message. The second time I saw her was 3 weeks later at Nipsey's funeral.
Wow.
I moved to LA March 1st of 2019. First week of March, Lauren is speaking a word into my heart. I was like, Lauren London just convinced me without even knowing to stay in LA. And by the end of the month, I was getting ready to go to his funeral to cover it. And to see her that close in proximity in 2 completely different spectrums, I was like, yo. And then a week later, our show that got greenlit couldn't because of some legal problems. So I went from the height of heights to being in a defunct show at a funeral 6 weeks later. I was like, LA is a mean ass bitch. She will sell you all these dreams and be like, psych.
But you've been here since.
I never left.
Never left.
And that's why I'm potting, right? Because I was like, God wanted me to be in front of the camera and tricked me into coming out here to this fucking place. I guess I got to stay. I got tricked into coming.
Right.
And it's crazy because a year later, I met you the night before the pandemic was announced.
Where were we?
We were at Lena's premiere for Boomerang.
For Boomerang, okay.
That it was like the third season, I think. And I sat down next to my friend Norman. I was like, Norman, you need to tell me where the Haitians are. He's like, well, there's like 3 Haitians here. And he pointed to you and Jean, somebody. Right. I was like, oh shit, look at all these Haitians all at once.
That's too funny.
And then that night I did a video that said, I feel like tomorrow the whole world's going to change. I don't know why. I just feel like the whole world's going to change tomorrow. Child, the World Health Organization has now announced that we are in a global. I was like, well, that's not what I meant, God. I meant like a fitness plan or something. But I met you right before the pandemic. And then we didn't see each other for like a couple of years. I ran into you again. And the thing that's so interesting about you is you're so warm that when people recognize you in the industry, because you're very respected, you always do the, who, me?
Wow. I appreciate that.
But how does it feel like when you realize that you're walking into the room and people are clocking you as somebody who's successful in the industry and you're not just a random person in a nice outfit at the party? Do you like it? Because
I don't think about it.
It doesn't freak you out when people walk up to you?
It surprises me because I similar to yourself, right? What we were talking about earlier. I don't consider myself anyone but, this guy who's been writing. Mike,
who's a writer. Mike, calling bullshit.
Like,
Ginny and Georgia was #1 on Netflix for about 5,700 hours. And then another every day, #1. Every day, #1. I was like, I need to call Mike and ask him how he feels because he's gloating. Being #1 on Netflix is a big fucking deal, friend. And I know you had more bass in your voice since.
I appreciate that.
Don't appreciate it, friend. That's just me looking at the screen.
Thank you. No, but I'm always grateful.
Good. I love that.
I'm always grateful when someone recognizes me, but more so is like, oh, I love your mentorship program. Like, how can I apply? Like, when's the next application window? I'm like, I love questions like that, and that people are paying attention and know me for that. I'm
but when they walk up
grateful.
To you like, ooh, somebody told me you was a famous fighter, like you have all this. Like when people act like that, do you go like, now, girl, if you don't let me drink this mojito, Mike.
Sometimes I do, but I'm always just grateful.
You pull a Beyonce. Thank you.
You're
Mike Gauyo. Thank you.
No, I'm truly grateful.
We actually bonded over Beyonce in London last year. I went to London. First of all, let me explain to you. The only reason I saw Beyonce in concert last year is because Mike pissed me off.
How'd I piss you off, friend?
Mike pissed me off, and I was talking big shit to Amy and Serita in the group chat. And then I sent you a screenshot like, yeah, I was talking shit. I'm one of those people. Uh-huh. Mike went on the internet known as Twitter, X, but Twitter, and said, y'all, I don't know how I pulled this off, but I'm going to see Beyonce in Paris. I already got tickets. I said, and the fuck? And so I did a screenshot, went into the group chat with Amy and Serita and said, what the fuck is this? The tickets are not even, so how the fuck did Mike get tickets to see Beyonce in Paris already? I was like, nah, we gotta get fucking tickets. If Mike got tickets, we gotta get fucking tickets. Then they were like, how the fuck did Mike get, we were like, how the fuck did Mike get tickets? Then I went on Twitter and sent you with like, Mike, we're talking shit because we wanna know how the hell you got these goddamn Beyonce tickets in Paris. You're like, well, friend, we, highly favored. I said, oh yeah, you wanna be funny? So I prayed to God a little bit. I was so angry. I was so fucking angry.
Here go Blue talking about, I'll see you in London. I'm like, wait, what?
A week later, my God said, stop playing with my girl. I got a ticket in London. Then I was like, let me stop. Mike, if you made me inspired to be like, if Mike can get tickets to Paris, I can get tickets to London. And then I hit you up like, hey, friend, well, it looks like we both going to Europe, huh? And then I was like, since you're going to be in London, in Paris, are you coming to London? You were like, yeah, we're thinking about it. There's all this stuff going on. We might see her again. And I was like, well, if you're in London, holla at me. And that trip.
That was a good trip.
That was a good fucking trip.
We had a good time.
We were like, look at us. Like it's like that Paul Rudd Hot Wings meme. Look at us out here in Europe.
Doing well
in the middle of.
Who
would have thought it, right? And we had such a good time. And I remember at one point we were zooming through the streets of London, Notting Hill to be we And I was like, Mike.
We found a Haitian restaurant.
We found the only Haitian restaurant in London. And they must have thought we were somebody important.
It took like 45 minutes to get there.
It took us 45 minutes to get there and 2 hours to get our food. I think they killed the goat fresh in the back.
Sure.
But shout out to them because the food was amazing.
It was good.
And then while we were sitting there, a young lady walks up to me.
Oh, yeah. Talking about like my moments. Please, you had a moment.
I didn't know how to receive it, and I was trying not to be extra.
She was fangirling.
And she was like, I recognize your voice. And I was like, fuck, when you pod, people don't recognize your face. Because I have brown girl emoji face. I look like every brown woman. Like, I have every everybody thinks I'm their cousin. I look like everybody's cousin, right? But my voice, and I was like, fuck. She was like, I recognized your voice. It happened to me 3 times.
Well, she heard you before she saw you, but when she saw you, she knew who you were.
Don't do that, friend. I'm trying.
She knew who you were.
And as she's talking, I'm looking at you like, you the nigga on Netflix. Why the fuck is she talking to me? Like, I'm looking at you like, you're not going to help me out of this?
No.
You didn't, friend.
I was eating my goat.
This nigga left me for dead.
Well,
she was lovely. If she's watching, because she's a supporter of the show, she was lovely. She knew when to leave.
Oh, no, she was fantastic. Yeah.
But when it happened, it kept on happening to me. And I was like, I need to figure out how to make accents. I need to figure out how to do an accent. No, because if people are only recognizing my voice, I need me a new outside voice.
I mean, you can go right to like the Haitian accent.
Oh, okay, sir.
There it is.
I can't, but I can only do a Haitian accent when I'm speaking in Creole.
Speaking Creole.
Can you do a Haitian accent while speaking in English? Do it.
Oh no, I can't.
Try.
I can't. No, I'm not. I'm not. You ain't about to catch that sound bite. I'm not gonna be able to do that one.
Do you know who I think that we should all have like brunch with? Me, you, Jean, and Jessie Wu.
Oh, we got to.
I feel like Jessie has to be brought.
I love Jessie.
I adore Jessie.
She's great.
She's amazing. And I think one of the things that's interesting for me is being Haitian or being an immigrant at all. Can we be honest? The Haitians and the Africans, we had a hard time in the 90s and early 2000s.
Okay.
Y'all made fun of us. And I find it so interesting that the very thing that I was made fun of as a child, I'm so proud of my culture now. Right? And shout out to the Cubans too. I get a lot of flack. They're like, bitch, you're Haitian and Cuban. Like, you had a whole ass daddy.
Oh yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, so shout out to the Afro-Latin people. And by the way, you know, technically Haiti was the first freed Latin American country, but we'll get into that in a second. They don't want to claim us, but we are Latin American too.
Are.
And I always wonder, do you ever find yourself in awe of how far you've wandered into your dreams? Because to your point, you're working, you're dreaming. You think you're a working class creative, so it's no big deal. And then one day you look up like, oh shit. How in the hell did I pull this off?
All the time. I also like suffer from like imposter syndrome.
I was just about to ask you.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm always just in awe of like how far I've come, and just wanting to continue to work hard to continue to elevate myself, you know, because I'm always thinking, damn, like they're gonna snatch this away from me.
That is a trauma response.
You
like
know,
a mother's thinking, like, oh shit, is the jig gonna be up?
No, but it is like
you're paid to be a writer, and you're a good writer. So where's it feel like an imposter about?
But that's the trauma of it. That's like the childhood trauma. That's, you know, even, you know, we operate in non-traditional spaces as, you know, immigrant people.
Yeah, we do.
Right now, you should be a doctor or a nurse. I should be a doctor or a nurse. Like,
or a big shot lawyer or administrator.
Right. Like we should be in that space.
Yeah.
And we're not. We're doing this.
We're
you know?
creatives, which is technically entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Like we're independent contractors who work for ourselves.
Absolutely. And the thing is too, it's like there's a lot of security being like a doctor, a nurse, or an engineer, because people are always going to need that. There's, you know, it's stability, you know, but being in an industry that's not as stable, as talented as we are, and as financially stable as we are. Hello, thank you, God.
Financially stable every month. Look at me paying my rent.
Thank you, God.
Following my dreams.
Hello, but we still carry that anxiety that was placed in us by our parents of like, you always need to be okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And is your line of employment always going to ensure that you are okay? It would have if you were a doctor or a lawyer, but for them, like our current line of work doesn't necessarily have that same stability. And I think they subconsciously or consciously like gave us that characteristic.
Do you think you're breaking any generational curses in your family?
Oh, absolutely.
Mike said, bitch, say less.
Please. Absolutely.
What do you think is one of the generational curses that
I feel like I'm carrying it on my back every day.
Who chose us to be the ones?
I don't know.
Can we talk about what it's like being a child who can clearly see that you're the one who's chosen to end this fuck shit, this legacy of fuck shit that you inherited?
Yeah.
It's exhausting knowing that you're the one in the family who's going to have to end this cycle. How have you made peace with it? Because we've talked about this ad nauseum behind the scenes. Because, you know, full disclosure, my mom had a health scare. Mike's dad had we both have had to be almost like...
Yeah, back and forth to Boston.
Making sure that our parents are okay and that they get their medical needs met. And it's like, wait, I'm the parent. I'm the captain now, right? It's like that pirate movie. I'm the captain now. And it's like, how do you make peace with knowing that I'm the one who's going to have to bring us to the promised land?
I take breaks, like from my family.
Oh, absolutely.
But just being present and understanding what is happening at all times, and just knowing that whatever they are experiencing emotionally isn't something that you need to burden yourself with. It's something you just need to understand. And if you have the capacity, help them unload. But at times they can't even unload it for themselves.
Oh, toxic?
Right, exactly.
The normalized toxicity
right.
in our old school parents.
Right.
They could do a documentary on that.
So the thing is being aware that it exists and their toxicity exists, and being aware of what you're taking on and what traits you're taking on, so that you can be the last stop. Like, fix it for yourself. Like, fix it within yourself, so that you're not passing it on to your children, so you're not passing it on to other people, but understanding that, like, hey, your parents or your family exhibit certain traits that you do not want to continue. And at times, you can't even help them correct it.
Oh, no, yeah. Some people are going to die on that hill.
Right. So because you can't help them correct it, recognize what it is, recognize it in yourself if it exists, and fix it from here on out. And that's all you can do.
Have you figured out a way, and this is a tricky question, so I'm going to choose my words carefully. Have you figured out a way, in this evolved state that we're in, where we have access to therapy, we're living our dreams, we're in one of the shiniest places on earth out here in LA in the industry, have you figured out a way to forgive your parents for their failings?
I have. And that's something that I have been able to do in the past year.
So it's very
recent. It's very fresh. And I've had to forgive things in order for me to grow.
Yeah.
And in order for me to heal. And not just had to because of, like, okay, well, I need to be selfish right now and, like, correct certain things within myself, but just having an overall understanding of what they experienced and them only knowing what they know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And whatever they experienced or whatever, whoever they are based on traumas that they had in their own childhoods that they could not control.
Yeah.
So it's really just about being, just aware of them, because you taught a lot of self-awareness in your course, but you can't be self-aware without understanding other people.
Absolutely.
And being able to understand my parents and where they come from and the things that they've experienced to make them who they are has really helped me to forgive them.
Forgiving your parents for not being who you needed at the time is something that I didn't learn until my heart was broken for the first time. And I sat with my mother, and she explained to me how my dad had done the same thing to her. And I had to see her as a person and not as my mother.
Okay.
Like, because I think there's no place that our parents and what they've been through or shown us shows up more than in our love lives. Because our parents affect the way that we show up in love, indirectly, directly, in so many ways. And I had to kind of realize that I had chosen a side. We often sometimes choose a parent. Even if we have flawed parents, I had thought to myself, my dad is this amazing man. My mother is the one who ran her mouth and, like, scared him away and X, Y, and Z. And then I realized I was judging the version of her that was living in me. Like, I was ending up in relationships where I was working hard not to be her because I was judging her. And when she really sat down and told me what happened in their relationship, and I realized that I was the age that she was when it happened, there was a grace that I had to show her so I could show it back to me.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And it's tough when you think that your parents were just like two kids, like, making shit up as they went along.
Yeah.
We all think our parents are like these big old figures. They're just regular people figuring shit out.
They're making it up. No, truly.
They were our age, Mike. Look at us with some kids. Can you imagine somebody having us a baby right now?
I can't have no child right now.
Can you imagine?
And they had kids young too, so I'm like, I get it. I get it for sure. I have a really good understanding of who they are as people and what got them to where they are. And another thing,
holding them accountable.
Well, yes, holding them accountable. Another thing that I stopped doing was I stopped compartmentalizing who they were, and I began seeing who they were as a whole. Because I feel like at times you could be like, well, I love my dad. There's an aspect of him that I really enjoy, and I'm going to hold on to that. and maybe store away the bad parts of him. And meanwhile, you're becoming resentful of him in other ways, and it's the grief and resentment is manifesting itself in other ways that you're not seeing, when you really need to see the person as their whole selves and accept their whole selves. So I think that's been my biggest lesson when it comes to my parents, just accepting them and not compartmentalizing certain aspects of them. But just understanding every facet, and that every facet of them can exist at once.
I love that you're saying that, particularly about your father, because I've recently, in granular detail, realized that we often talk about daddy issues with women. We don't talk about father wounds in men. Because your father is the first example of what manhood is for you. It's like your launch pad.
Yeah.
And I've dated so many men who will have so much to say about their fathers and their shortcomings, and then unwittingly emulate them. Once you demonize your father, then the probability of you becoming just like him actually heightens, because you're like, well, I'm a good person, so I can't possibly be like him. Whereas if you look at him as a flawed human being, and you're a flawed human being, then you can accept the obvious that if I don't acknowledge it, I'm almost doomed and destined to repeat his mistakes.
Yeah.
And so I love that you're able to hold your father accountable, but also hold space for that he's just a flawed man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And that's recent.
Mike was on the Uber ride over here.
Okay, that is a recent. But
Was that freeing for you?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I'm glad to have been able to get to this space. It's freeing, for sure.
It's freeing.
Yeah.
I think anytime anyone can admit that something hurt and that they are working to heal from it, there's freedom on the other side of that.
Yeah.
Which is why I get nervous when people, particularly black men, pretend that nothing hurts. Because they're further and further away from their own liberation. If you don't admit that it hurts, you can't fix it. And if you don't fix it, then you can't get free.
That's true.
Look at Mike's face. Mike's like, oh, shit.
Well,
Mike took a sip. He's like, no tequila for that. We're drinking water on that.
I'm out of tequila.
Oh,
no,
so
but
he said I'm out of tequila.
I'm out of tequila.
Wait, friend. I have one sip left. You want it?
No, I'm
that
good.
should make me warm.
What happened? What happened to that to the game?
Oh wow, we did get deep, right?
Yeah, we
got
got deep.
Okay, if you had one dream project, what would it be that you could get produced?
Ooh, one dream project. I feel like I'm on my way to getting a couple of dream projects produced. I would love to write the Marvel feature for Dr. Voodoo. I don't know if y'all know anything about Marvel Comics, but there is a superhero who's Haitian, whose name is Dr. Voodoo, a.k.a. Jericho.
Oh, wow.
And I would love to write the Marvel feature for Dr. Voodoo.
If you could work with one celebrated human being, like your dream person to work with and write for, who would it be?
To work with? Mm-hmm. I mean, Ryan Coogler.
Oh, my God, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd love to work with Ryan Coogler.
I would,
yeah.
You working with Ryan Coogler on a Marvel project?
Hello.
You put it all together?
Speak it.
Are we manifesting right now?
We are. Speak it.
That would be sexy as shit.
I would love that.
Speaking of sexy, what do you find sexy in other people? It can only be two things: one physical, one non-physical.
Vulnerability is sexy to me, and hygiene. Great hygiene.
He said your booty can't stink. Okay.
You know what? Not even that, but like, you know,
good grooming.
Good grooming, skincare. You know, great teeth. You know, I love someone who just takes care of themselves.
Same, because that means they love themselves.
Yeah.
And what was it Maya Angelou said, if you don't love you, then I can't trust you, because how the hell you going to love me? Look, Maya was talking her shit. I'm not even going to hold you. We really need to. Maya Angelou was the original Kendrick Lamar, okay? If you really look at some of the shit she was saying, she was spitting bars, okay? And it was more than "And Still I Rise." I think for me, non-physically, I'm turned on by integrity.
That's a good one.
It means to be incorruptible. It means to be incorruptible. To have a consistency of character is a definition of integrity.
That's a really good one.
And physically, I like a strong back.
Ooh.
I like me a man with a strong back. Because men with strong backs can lift heavy things. By heavy things, I mean me. I am set.
Listen, I love a strong back too. Okay?
Integrity and a strong back.
I love a strong back.
I might give you my number. What is the sexiest thing in yourself? Physical and non-physical.
Oh, myself.
Be a peacock, Leo. Don't play with us now.
Loyal. My loyalty.
You are very loyal.
Yeah. And
physical.
We
be seeing you in the gym in your thirst traps. Yes. If you follow Mike, you're gonna get a view of something, child. In the words of Denzel, we leaving here with something.
Listen.
Some of them gym videos, I'm like, well, damn, friend.
I cannot.
Physical.
I mean, I guess like my legs.
You do not skip leg day.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you because a lot of y'all skip leg day. I have questions around that.
No, I appreciate that.
No, you can kick over a horse, friend. Physical and non-physical. Sexiest thing about me physically, shit, that one was harder. I'm not gonna say titties because that's just no. I think for me it is my laugh.
I do love your laugh
because I feel like when I'm laughing, I'm like a drunk baby. I'm just so happy, like yay.
I mean, you're a happy person.
I am.
Yeah.
And non-physically, it's that my impenetrable joy. Joy follows me around like a debt collector. That bitch won't let me be.
I love that though.
You have to be. You know why? Haitian people are very joyous. When I went back to Haiti, I saw a lot of things I didn't like. I saw a lot of things I did like. And I was like, let me figure out what to learn from my people. That's a trauma response I need to work through. And what to learn from them. And I saw a funeral. That Haitian funeral was happier than most like kickbacks I've been to.
It's a celebration of life.
It's a joyous people.
Yeah. When's the last time you were in Haiti?
2011 or 12.
It's been so long for me.
It's been 10 years for me.
Oh my God, it's been so long.
Yeah, and you and I, we've talked about how someday when we're older and grayer and richer, we have to help. And so, like for real.
I mean, not just help, but we have to go.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm down to go to Labadie any day second.
Go. Yeah.
I would love to show people the beautiful parts of Haiti because people don't realize that Haiti and Dominican Republic are the same island.
It's a stunning country. It's a beautiful,
beautiful entire
country.
Island of formerly known as Hispaniola, now known as Haiti and Dominican Republic. It's a beautiful island, and the Dominican part is very well maintained for obvious reasons. And so people talk about how beautiful that is, but the Haitian side is beautiful too.
Yeah, but it's also like rich with resources. And
it's Wakanda, if you really.
It is Wakanda.
That's why they tried to.
It is Wakanda.
We'll get into that conversation on another time about why they're ravaging Haiti for
seriously,
resources.
but like, yeah, I mean that's part of the reason why it's so tumultuous there is because they want it to stay that way. They want it to be that way.
So they keep mining it.
And I'm not even talking about the Haitian people. I'm talking about everyone else, America, France, like everyone else wants there to be dysfunction in Haiti so that they can continue to take our resources.
And they have successfully.
And they have.
Which is why I love having these conversations. There's a story that I told you that I really want us to work on someday in the future. We both have gray baby hairs.
I already got some.
It's good. I mean, me too, friend. But I got my hair dyed. Don't say it in front of the people. See, no gray baby hairs. Mike, I don't know what he's talking about. We're a young 31, right, Mike?
Yeah.
You a bad liar, friend. That's my next question. Do you have any qualms or fears around aging in this obsessed town that we live in?
That's a good question. I mean, yes, but only as it pertains to things that I feel like I could have done and haven't done yet. Do you know what I mean? It's never because I'm getting older or I'm getting gray or like my back fucking hurts and shit like that. It's more that like, okay, I've gotten to this age. Have I done enough? Have I done all the things I've wanted to do? Am I doing all the things I want to do so that I don't have any regrets? It's more that.
And according to
like
the class,
running out
Mike,
of time.
We talked about that. That's the spirit of should.
It's the spirit of should. It is.
And then we'll hold you captive. I'm a late bloomer. I did everything late.
Oh, same,
right on
same.
time.
Oh, please, I came out late.
Damn.
Okay.
He's like my
I did a lot of shit late. Like
you came out late too.
Yeah, I did. By the time I became a writer, like that happened in my 30s.
Really?
Yeah. A lot happened later in life, and I don't regret it, or I try to live without regret because I wouldn't be the person that I am now without the experiences that I've had and how I had those experiences. But yeah, I'm definitely a late bloomer.
Me too. I didn't realize we had that in common.
We do, friend.
My thing about being a late bloomer is I just say I took the scenic route.
Okay.
Some of y'all took a straight shot. I was in the bushes somewhere on a campsite smoking a joint with the natives. I just took the. I have lots of great stories though. Mm-hmm. When I talk about me running off to India to find myself, then I ran off to Bali to find myself. I don't know where I thought I was. I done ran off and done all types of adventures. Look at Mike's face.
How long were you in Bali?
I was in Bali. Well, I ran off for 3 months. I was in Bali for a month. And then I went to Cuba for 2 weeks. I was in India for 2 weeks. I be running off. I used to be a runner. She's a runner. She's a track star. If anybody pissed me off, I would grab my passport and be like,
gone.
fuck y'all, I'm out.
Gone.
And I was Airbnb my house, so I didn't have no rent. So I was out here in these streets, and it was not till my mid-30s that I literally got into digital media. I had like 4 other careers. I was in academia. I did all these other things. And then in my mid-30s, I came back from, I think it was Cuba. And I had realized that there were some father wounds that I had finally worked through by going back to Cuba. Okay. And once that blockage was gone, I was like, bitch, be who you know you are.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up doing. The funny thing is my haters back in the day at the office, when I had an office job, used to call me Hollywood. Now look where I live.
Same. Me
bitches,
too.
Your haters are your first manifestors. They see your gift before you see it.
No, I hear that.
They called you Hollywood too?
They used to call me Hollywood.
Now look at this friend. Shout out to them bitches.
Okay. Hollywood Boulevard is like a block away.
We're about to have dinner in Hollywood, so stay mad, die mad.
Well,
next question. What is your biggest pet peeve in other people? The thing that makes you go, ooh.
A liar.
Talk about it.
I can't deal with a liar.
You get angry with the heat of 1,000 suns.
You know what? It's not even like angry. It's almost more so like
insulted.
I feel sorry that you feel as though you have to lie.
Oh, that's nice. That's cute.
Do you know what I mean?
I want to fight.
It's more that like, oh, I've grown from that place.
I don't think I'm ever gonna grow from that.
I've grown from that place of wanting to fight, because at the end of the day, I'm like, why? Like you have saved me. Because the thing is, the truth always comes out one way or the other. And even if the truth doesn't come out, it's not going to torment me that it didn't come out. It's going to torment whoever is, doing the lying. But
for me, it's not a liar. It's a gaslighter. Because a gaslighter is a liar with some extra vodka thrown on top of it. Like you lied, and now you're saying, no, I didn't, while you're looking right in my face.
A gaslighter. Lord. I can't.
Let me tell you, God is working on me still, because what I've recognized is I always move with emotional intelligence, but I have the thoughts of a serial killer sometimes. Like, if y'all really knew, I'd be like, you.
Not a serial killer.
No, because my thing is, when I get angry, I get cold. Like, so this motherfucker. I started to Samuel L. Jackson. And so I tell people all the time, being emotionally intelligent doesn't mean that you don't get angry. It means that you know how to show up in a way that you're proud of.
I mean, I'll say I also get cold.
Yeah.
I don't get angry. I get cold. I get distant.
My anger is a cold anger.
Yeah, it's distant. I withdraw from you. And I will,
That's a perfect segue. What's your biggest toxic trait?
My biggest toxic trait. Ooh.
You got 5 seconds. This is rapid fire, because we're sipping on these rapid fires.
Okay, my biggest toxic trait is that I do withdraw. Like, I will.
That's honest.
I will withdraw from a situation, from a person. Yeah.
My biggest toxic trait is that I'll let you lie to me for a very long time and live in that world, and then and not say shit. Like, look at this liar going to dinner. Look at this liar going to lunch. I'll just walk, because now it's a movie.
Oh my God.
I don't take you seriously as a person. Now you're just content.
I mean, until they really disrespect you, and then you're like.
But by the time they do, they're stunned by how long I've known.
Right.
And I can see how that could be unnerving. Like, you've been playing Super for 6 months. Yep. I sure have. Have receipts, documents, talk to my lawyer, yep. Damn. So I think that could be a little toxic. What is your best superpower? The thing that you think is like, wow, I do this superiorly well. No cap, no egos, just objectively, I'm really good at this.
That's a really good question. I mean, now I'll say it's my self-awareness. That's my biggest superpower.
And what was the first thing I clapped for when you got here? It's your self-awareness.
Well, yeah.
I see you, friend.
You see me.
Mine is sincerity.
I agree with that.
I'm painfully sincere.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish I could be more performative.
But it's a good thing, though, to be sincere. It's a really good thing. No, it is.
Friend, you're not just being nice because we're on camera.
No, it's a really good thing to be sincere, and you know, that it's coupled with like telling people the truth too.
That's true.
So yeah.
What is the thing that turned you on sexually the most?
Oh, we going there.
We been there.
What turns me on sexually the most?
5, 4, 3, 2, gut check.
I mean, I'll say...
We don't king shame on the show.
No, I'll say, I mean, like, body-wise, like, everything has to be...
Tight
there.
I knew it.
It has to be the right size in the right places.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that, like, outside of, like, the physical, someone who is confident. Confidence is very attractive.
Not cocky confident.
Not cocky confident, but, like, no, you got it confident.
I'm sexually aroused by enthusiasm.
Okay.
My Mars is in Leo. Your Mars is how you follow your dreams and fuck.
Right.
Shout out to Beyonce. Her Mars is also in Leo. Adore me, ho. Adore me, okay? My Mars is in Leo. I am aroused by adoration. I like that you like it. You like it, I like it even more. So, and I've been very open on the show. So the audience who watches the show, they all know I have a praise kink. You gotta mean it though.
That's true.
You gotta mean it.
You have to.
If you lying to me, now I'm gonna get mad.
It has to be
lying.
genuine. Yeah.
And also too, what is your biggest sexual turn off? Because you know we have to do the flip side.
Oh, sexual turn off. Bad hygiene.
Mike has found so many different ways to tell you to keep it clean and tight.
Bad hygiene.
There's been about 5 different questions where the answer has been, please keep it clean and tight.
Please.
I feel like bad hygiene, though, isn't that like universal just because of a gag reflex? Like, we don't have to throw up when they smell you.
Here's what I'll say, though. In the gay community, some people are into smells.
Some of y'all do like that musty shit.
You
That's
know,
true.
like,
And no kink shaming, I'm just saying.
Like after the gym or like, you know... Someone who's like a little bit more musky, like I will
take you by the hand and run the water for you in the bath.
Come on,
let's go.
I'll scrub your back. Like I don't do that. I can't do it.
Well,
I can't do it.
I want the last question to be a little bit more holy because we were about to get sexual and nasty, and my spirit said,
maybe not.
I mean, should I? Let me stop. I have a quick question for you. A previous guest was talking about how in the gay community, there is this perception, or used to be this perception, that femmes were seen as less than hyper-masculine men. And I made a statement that does come back to misogyny, because gay men are still men.
Yeah.
And that the proximity to feminine energy is why femme men often are seen as lesser than, and why hyper-masculine, heteronormative presenting men are also seen as exalted.
Right.
First question is, do you agree with that? And second question is, how do you feel about that? Because I think a lot of people are shocked when I point out that misogyny can still exist in a man-on-man relationship.
I mean, I agree with that thesis. I agree with that answer. I think that has been the case. I like to subscribe to the idea that I'm open to everyone. For me, it's like a personal one-on-one energy with that person.
Case by case. It's
case by case for sure. I am attracted to masculinity, but for me, masculinity shows up in different ways in people. Like, it's not always about like the body or how you present yourself. It's the fact that, you might be slightly more aggressive or slightly just more comfortable or in tune with yourself in a way that makes me feel safe with you, protected. Like, it's for me, like, I look at those things more than I look at like the more traditional characteristics of what masculine might be. So
you don't judge femmes the way that some of the community does? No,
I don't. Now, I know, like, and I can identify the difference between like a good Judy and somebody I would date.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But no, I try not to judge people just based off their, feminine traits.
My cousin was on the show once, and she, on camera for the first time, told me that her father punched her when she came out the closet.
What?
I wanted to fight this man, yeah. And my own family. And so the reason why I wanted to end with this was because something about seeing it a out queer Haitian person, knowing that my family has been so violent against us, how did you come out to your family? Because when I see your relationship with your mother, it almost makes me cry because I didn't think that was possible for our community.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love my mom so much. Like, she is, like, my best friend. So I think it was easier because we already kind of had that dynamic, at least for me. But I do understand that other people may have that dynamic with their parents, but then when they come out, it's a whole different story afterwards based on, like, their religion or how they view, you know, LGBTQ people based on their religion. But my mom is, I mean, I grew up Catholic. My mom is a Christian woman. Like, you know, when I came out to her, we were actually in vacation. We were in Paris for the first time.
You are so fucking bougie.
Yeah, no.
I took my mother to Paris and I said, I'm homosexual.
Listen, it was, I mean, we were just like on like it was just me and her on a trip together. And we had gone to Notre Dame, and she wanted to speak to the priest and like do like the confessional or have a confession. And I'm like, all right, fine. I guess we could do that. I'll sit here. And she was like, no, you should go confess too. And like, da-da-da. I'm like, what am I finna go confess? But I was like, all right, fine, I'll do it. But the way the confession works at Notre Dame isn't the same way it works here, where normally you'd have like a divider and like you'd go into like the little booth, you'd have a divider. This was an office, okay? And you sit down at the desk in front of the priest, and mind you, it's also a glass encased office. So my mom was sitting right outside in like one of the pews, just, you know, praying, but I could like see me talking to the priest. So we get into a conversation, and he's like, you know, what would you like to talk to me about? And for whatever reason, in that moment, I felt like coming out to the priest.
Wow.
And I said to him, so, you know, I'm gay. I've felt these feelings for as long as I can remember.
How old were you?
When I came out, I was 25 when I came out to my mom. Wow. So I was like, yeah, you know, I've had these feelings. And the moment I said it, I felt like a huge relief. And then a second later, I felt dread because I was like, why the fuck did I tell this priest this? Because the first thing he said was, well, okay, how are we going to fix this? And I was like...
Excuse me, bitch?
Excuse me? Mm-hmm. Fix what? And I was just thinking to myself, well, I spent so much time in denial growing up. I spent so much time trying to fix aspects, quote unquote, fix aspects of myself for so long that the idea of him bringing that up was like, felt like, nigga, I tried. But it also felt like, wow, I had been denying myself of who I am for so long that I can't allow you to keep me in the space of like having to deny this part of myself.
Did your mom hear it, or did you have to walk out?
No, she didn't hear it. She had to walk out, and I walked out angry. I walked out upset. So when we were leaving the church, she was like, why are you so upset? And I was like, you know what, I think I told her we'll talk about it later, and I think that night I told her.
How did she respond?
She, you know, the first thing she said to me is, I love you.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the first thing she said to me. You know, she said, I love you. It's okay. You know, understand, you know, like, be who you are. Like, she said I was boohooing, I was crying, God, I was in tears. And it was a great moment to have with my mom. Like, I will forever cherish that moment. But she was also like, listen, me and your uncle knew.
Oh, shit. Like, child.
Like, we knew. We were 5 years old talking about my shirt got to be tucked in and where's my belt and all this shit. And she was like, we knew. And I was like, well, I mean, hell, you could have told me a long time ago then.
I could have helped you pick a better boyfriend.
Right.
That's hilarious. No, I love that story. Yeah, not everybody gets that, Mike.
No, I know.
And this is a June episode, and you know June is Pride Month.
June is Pride Month for sure. Yeah, and I'm come on, Pride episode.
Hey, what's And what's interesting for me is I intentionally waited till the end of the episode to bring it up because, you know, for the kids who don't know what trade is, not everybody can tell, Mike.
Oh, okay.
Your mama could tell. My audience is so queer. They can tell, but not everybody can tell. And so people are listening to you, and some of them are like, "Oh shit, I didn't expect that to come out the end."
But the thing is, here's the thing, though. My parents could definitely tell when I was younger because of how free I felt and how secure I felt in myself. And it wasn't till I continued to grow up and go to elementary school, high school, that I closed certain aspects of who I was naturally
to assimilate.
Yeah. So I feel like there's a part of me as a gay person now that exists that is, has found a level of comfort in myself and how I present myself, and it's a good kind of balance between those two spaces for me that I'm comfortable with and that I enjoy. But yeah, that's part of the reason why I guess I might present a certain way. But yeah, my mom saying that to me was everything, and I share everything with her. We actually went to the club that night. Went to the gay club that night.
This escalated quickly. Now I done turned into Romeo and Michelle running through Paris.
Listen, my mom and I went to the gay club that night. She came to a gay club with me that night.
I once saw a video of you and your mother and somebody that you were dating. I was like, okay, as a Haitian person, I never thought I was going to see, like, I was like, your mother is not only okay with it, but you can bring people that you're in relationship around.
Absolutely.
That, Mike, do you understand that 25 years ago, my brain could not conceive those things were a thing?
No, I get that. She's ready for me to get married. Like, she already...
Mike, you're living the dream.
She already knows who she wants me to marry. Like,
Really? Is it the person that... We're gonna stop here.
Let's not.
Let's not get too much into personal tea.
She has her favorite.
Your mom has a favorite?
Oh, yeah.
This dinner... Okay, so we need to wrap up this episode. This dinner that we're about to have... I got so many questions, friend.
No, but I'm incredibly grateful for her. And actually, I didn't tell my dad till 6 months later.
That makes sense.
My mom was like, actually, don't tell your dad. And I didn't tell him till 6 months later. And when I told him, it was right before he got on a flight to Haiti. And I just felt compelled to just tell him then. And then my mom called me later that day and was like, did you tell your dad? And I was like, yeah, I told him before he got on this flight. And she was like, yeah, when I picked him up, because my mom was in Haiti at the time also. She was like, when I picked him up from the airport and we got in the car and he told me, he started crying. And I was like, ugh.
How did he respond to you?
He was pretty stoic and he took it in. He took it in, and he understood. And when because I dropped him off at the airport, you know how it is, 3 a.m. drop off at the airport. He gave me a hug. He said he loved me. I told him I loved him, and that was that.
I love that she trusted you enough to tell you that he cried, because I think one of the things that happens with people who need to come out to family is that they sometimes demand immediate acceptance and celebration. Mm-hmm. Some people have it, some people don't. And a parent having to let themselves mourn who they thought their child is a valid response as long as they're not being violent.
Absolutely.
So I'm telling everybody in the queer community, Mike had one amazing story where it was like, hey girl, I already knew, let's go to the club. The other one was, okay, I'm going to cry a little bit because this is not what I wanted for my child. Right. And both are valid as long as you're not being violent.
And both of my parents had to mourn the dream that they had for me.
Exactly.
They just, two different individuals did it in different ways, of course, but they have both had to mourn the dream that they had for me coming into this country and who they wanted me to grow up to be. But I'm incredibly close to my mom, and she's, my number one supporter. She's my biggest champion.
I love that. And the reason why I made that point of nuance, because somebody's going to be like, Blue, this was funny. Why'd you have to bring up that part? I was like, because I think, I'm very progressive, and they would call me woke, but I think there's a certain level of performative wokeness that's become intolerant. Where if anybody who doesn't immediately clap for anything that is atypical or non-traditional is demonized.
Right.
And I think there's an intolerance in that for me, ironically mimics super conservatives.
Okay.
And so I want everybody to stop being extremist and to recognize that what you're doing can be valid and people are still allowed to have complicated feelings while they're making peace with it.
Well said.
Because I know some woke folks who are like, if your parent don't take you to Pride right after you come out, then they're a piece of shit and you need to dead them. Really? Or maybe he's 75 and needs a second.
Right. Give him some time.
Give him some time. I think we need to give grace on both sides, even our elders who did not have the privilege of being as progressive and educated and having as many resources as we had.
Yeah.
Not everybody can watch TikToks and be an expert in 3 days.
Because there's gonna be a lot of unlearning that needs to take place too. So you have to like leave room for that, because as long as you've known about yourself, and as long as you've gone through the process of like, you know, learning and gaining the courage to be able to say something about who you are, you have to give that same space to the other individual to process the information and figure out how they want to, first of all, interact with it and figure it, like how they
make it their own.
Mentally, like make it their own. But you have to give them that space to do that.
And the biggest gag is, hey babe, in 20 years we'll be the dinosaurs. Okay? That woke benchmark keeps moving. And so right now you're young and sexy and progressive and have your finger on the pulse.
Right.
When your knee starts going crickety crack and there's now a new language that you have to learn,
right,
you're gonna want that same grace back. When you're the elder in the room and you're out of date, you're going to want that same grace back.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to create a bunch of progressive hypocrites, because that is not the counterbalance to intolerant conservatives. The balance is give people a second. Just give people a second to process whatever is happening, because we're all going to be old and out of touch at some point, if we're lucky. The alternative is dying young, right? If you're lucky, you're going to be out of touch at some point. So whatever grace I want, I already start giving it to my elders. Mike, this has been amazing. My last question for you.
Come on, last question.
And this better be, you better mean this, honey, because it might end up being the picture on the episode.
Okay.
Who would you want to play you in your biopic?
Who would I want to play me in my biopic? Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
No pressure.
Oh, my goodness. But here's the thing, though. Like, I feel like I'm going to live a very long life.
So you got to be dead to have a biopic.
No, but the person who's going to play me, I don't think they are even a star yet. So do you know what I mean?
Okay, so you're not gonna give a name? Don't be clever. I need a name, friend.
Oh, damn.
You tried it. That was cute for you. He was like, well, I'm about to
get her with this one. Jean.
You want Jean-Elie?
I would want Jean-Elie to play me.
In your biopic?
Yes, my twin.
Twin?
I want him to play me.
That is nice that your twin is an actor and you're a writer.
Hello.
That's hilarious. Jean, we love you. We have to have you back.
We love you, Jean.
Oh, that was, and what's funny is
we should do an all Haitian episode. Like,
absolutely.
Well, it already is.
I mean right now it's the all Haitian episode.
It's the two of us here, but
it's
like
me, you, Jean. Maybe Jesse. That'd be perfect. The four of us would be perfect.
Yeah, the four of us would be great.
Call Jesse. We're gonna make that happen.
Let's make it happen.
Because I really feel that the culture needs to see this.
I agree.
Because yeah.
Because there are so many of us out here in entertainment.
Absolutely.
So many of us.
And I've learned from my Nigerian brethren who tried to claim me. They tried to take me from the Haitian group.
Oh, no, we got our own tribe.
Yeah, but the Nigerians
don't let that happen.
They're
quick to do that.
They think I'm Igbo.
They're quick to do that.
The funny thing is, I think all the Haitians are a little Igbo.
I mean,
so
that is our.
We could trace
I think that's partly our.
So yeah, we're gonna manifest that. Me, you, Jesse Wu, and Jean are gonna have a Haitian episode of Humanized.
Let's do it.
1804 Sac Passe Freedom Day episode of Humanized.
I'm down.
And Jean, like, I just love that. And you know what I want you and Jean to do for y'all's birthday? We talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to say in front of the camera. Guys, this has been another great episode of Humanized. I hope you love Mike as much as I do. We're about to get more alcohol because we ran out of tequila and some food.
Okay. Yes.
And Mike, please tell them where they can find you, love.
You can find me on Instagram at Black Boy Writes. There's like a period in between each letter, Black Boy Writes. Also, X is called now. Black
Twitter.
Boy Writes. And our website, blackboywrites.com.
Mike, I love you.
I love you too.
This is such a good episode. You guys know, if you've already heard Mike talk about it, for those who have been watching, you know I'm an emotional intelligence coach, and registration for the next installment of the Own Thy Shift. Look at Mike.
Come on, y'all.
I love that you took Own Thy Shift and can vouch for it in real life. But Own Thy Shift, the registration for the July cohort is now open. It's summer24.eventbrite.com. Once again, summer24.eventbrite.com. We do it on Zoom, so you can do it live from home internationally. It doesn't matter where you are. We had a couple people in London who wake up in the middle of the night to take the class, like dedicated.
It is so worth it. Please, 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 if you can, take the class.
I love you for you're such a great example of what an intentional, emotionally intelligent, self-aware black man is. Look at Mike's like, yeah. The Leo in you is like, yes. And then what else?
I appreciate that.
So please go to summer24.eventbrite.com. You can find Mike at Black Boy Rights on X and Twitter. And you can find me at Bluecentric. And please remember, we're all just human beings doing human shit. Please be gentle with yourselves. Bye.